Hello there, beautiful seekers of truth and the lovers of the tarot. So, the Ten of Swords came up, and it's taken, maybe over a year and a half for me to draw this card and make this video. So, this is going to be an interesting one. There's a little bit of a paradox in this card, and it's one of the, I'm not going to say mistranslated because it's not really a wrong way to translate the cards. Because it's a personal journey, and if you want to translate it as one thing, then that's right for you, whatever that might mean. But of all the cards that are looked at in a superficial way, this card is normally speaks to most people about betrayal and getting stabbed in the back, and just trauma and tragedy and blah blah blah. So that's not exactly wrong in essence, but there's a greater or a more important point here that we can see. So this is like the full manifestation of all 10 swords. And if we wanted to have or to understand the depth of a suit, the depth of our minds, the depth of the sword of truth, of wisdom and understanding and knowledge and all of this, then we have to look at the tens to be in some degree the fullest manifestation of that. And here we've got this guy lying on the floor with 10 swords stabbing him and apparently killing him. And this obviously speaks about a different truth, that the greatest manifestation that we can experience through our mind is the death of it, and the death of a lot of our beliefs, the death of maybe the foundation and the grounding and the uprooting and the core beliefs that we might have. If we think of betrayal, for example, or if we think of just negative influence, like just defeat and fears and all of this pain that seems to be in this card, even though it doesn't seem to be exactly painful. The 9, that's the pain that we dive into. It seems to be a little bit more painful. But here, it's just death. It's just death. What's the pain of that? And in death, there is always a surrender. In death, there is always a letting go. And it's the letting go of our core false beliefs that this card speaks about in a more beautiful way, or in a depth, or in a deeper way. And even if we're talking about the idea of betrayal, or the idea of somebody causing pain for us, then we need to realize that the biggest betrayal that we are holding on to is the idea that we can be a victim to somebody else, that our personal state of consciousness, our emotions and the way we feel in our life and the way we are in our daily life is subject to somebody else's influence, or we depend upon the world outside of us being completely aligned in order for us to feel good. That is the biggest idea that is like mucking up all of our lives and screwing our heads, because it makes us into a victim mentality. And there's definitely a victim in this card, and this is the death of that victim. It's the death of all those beliefs that we think we are different from, not capable of changing our personal manifestation or our life, that we are always going to be, our state of mind and our state of emotions is always going to be dependent upon the world on the outside being a certain way. This is all rubbish, We are the ones that co-create our reality with the world. Things are going to come up, but we always have the choice. We always have the power to decide how we react to it. If we give away that power, if we've told ourselves 10 times over, no, I can't change my reactions, of course I'm going to react this way, that's a false belief. That's the betraying belief that's stabbing ourselves in the back, that's asking for somebody to come and do the same to us just to show us what we are doing to ourselves. And this is a slightly more self-empowering way to own this card and own this death. This is a beautiful card in a way, in that the highest form of mind is killing the mind. And that doesn't mean that we become a little bit insane or we lose contact with reality, but we might lose contact with a version of reality that we have been creating our whole lives that may no longer serve us, that might be important to surrender, to let go of, to release, to give up, to sacrifice. The hand of this guy here, he's actually has this hierophant position of his hand, which shows that there's a little secret here. He's like, yeah, you think I'm dead, but really, my mind has just become still. My inner self has just shut up. I'm stopping listening to all those voices, and now I can connect to the divine like the Hierophant can. And there's all these secret messages. This is definitely a dark night, but it's not even a dark night. There's this sort of yellow sky that suggests a dawn. Oh, this is actually the dawn. This is where the dark night has finished and the dawn is starting to rise up. Because why? Because when we absolutely manage to just release and stop our normal train of thinking, when we really surrender these old school beliefs that are holding us back in our lives, then there's an incredible release, which might feel like a death and might be a little bit painful because of it. But on another level, it's asking us to find that new day, that rebirth inside of us, like all deaths are. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed a slightly different version of reading this card, and have a fantastic day.